It's time for Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears, with your hosts, Alex.
Gosh, I have so many questions. Also, where's my car?
Splash.
Strive to love something as much as my grandmother loves buying new crock pots.
And Mac.
If you've ever been to Boston, you know that they have amazing ice cream.
Coming to you from coast to coast, it's L-A-R.
Hello, everyone, friends and family, anyone that is tuning into our podcast. It is time for Losses Above Replacement, the best baseball podcast to grace your ears. I am today's host, Alex Clark, joined by our very own off-season transactions in Mathias Kurosaki and Ryan Splash Potts. My main men, apparently not been on the podcast because you guys are off-season transactions, but how are you guys doing?
Same old. I'll say that much. I had a pretty fun day yesterday. I went to a housewarming / Hanukkah party in Jersey City for one of my swim teammates. A bunch of it felt like a big outside of the pool team gathering. Not everyone there was from the team, but it was a fun time. I tried, first of all, my teammate, shout out Eve, she made a bunch of pastries from scratch and latkes and stuff, including a bunch of donuts that were really good. Then they had a whole bunch of different types of donuts. And then I tried, I don't know if you guys have had monkey bread before.
Yeah.
I had monkey bread for the first time and it was amazing. So yeah, it was a fun Sunday. I watched some pretty normal things on that sport we play with a spiral ball. Very normal things transpired at the end of a game yesterday. Let's just put it that way. But
the spiral ball has had some very interesting motivations the last few days. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, this sport is weird, man. This is why we watch baseball.
We are a baseball podcast. Yes.
Yeah, we watch baseball, and then I don't really know. There are some other sports out there. Apparently, I forget.
I mean, apparently there's a couple out there. Splash, how about you, my man?
Well, I was going to talk about latkes and how I think they're the best form of potato.
I love latkes.
Then this man comes in with the absolute tomfoolery. I will say, had the Jared Goff touchdown counted, I think that would have usurped the Zach Charbonnet backwards pass fumble shit.
I know, yeah.
That was the weirdest thing I have ever seen on a football.
I wasn't watching live when Charbonnet scored that, and I was I saw the replay and I was just confused. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we all were. Let's be real here. I was oh darn, no, it's an incomplete pass. That sucks. What do you mean they're reviewing it? What do you mean we have 2 more points? Boys, let's go! It was the dumbest thing because that did lead to Seattle tying up the game and going OT and winning in OT.
So I must admit, I've been crashing out in perpetuity for a month now. Sports teams certainly don't help. I was talking to my dad this morning, and I think the only more disappointing combination, if you're a fan of these teams, the only more disappointing combination than my teams would be the Chiefs plus the Braves and the Cavs.
Which is a wild statement, by the way.
That is a wild statement.
Yeah. Okay, they also missed the playoffs, or the Ravens are likely to miss the playoffs. The Chiefs are officially out. And Mahomes tore his ACL. So that takes the cake above the Ravens, who are also co-favorites to win the AFC among the Super Bowl favorites and are below 500 and likely to finish below 500 and out of the playoffs. The Braves were second favorites to the Dodgers, finished below 500 out of the playoffs. And the Cavs were favored to win the East. They're the 7th seed.
They're 15 and 14, I know, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different scope because there's so many bad basketball teams, but the Cavs are a bad basketball team. They just get to beat the Wizards a couple times, so their record's above 500. I watched them in person beat the Wizards, so I can confirm.
It was in overtime, right?
What's up?
Wasn't it that was an overtime game, right?
No, it was a
Oh wait, no, that was different. I was thinking.
Yeah, I would have been late for work had it been an overtime game.
Oh God.
I would have been late to write an article and late to work, and that would have been a whole ordeal. But we are crashing out. But 2026 is a new year. Yeah, clap it up, clap it up, boys, clap it up.
I can't fault that. I'm doing good over here. How the Seahawks won is legitimately only through, I can only call it tomfoolery as well. It was weird. I'm not even going to go into all of it. I'm going to go into something cool. One of my best friends, Sarah, got a 3D printer, one of the big industrial ones, and has been printing out things for people and gave me my Christmas presents here when I went over for the weekend here. For those of you who know, my favorite Pokemon is Quilava, and she made this full.
Oh, that is dope.
6-inch Quilava 3D print that can stand all the way on its own. So he has a little smile.
Really cool. Yeah.
Hey,
this,
you should buy a 3D printer. You have plenty of space in the house. You just need to clear out some Legos.
Who does?
My dad.
Oh, true. Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you have like more than enough space for a 3D printer. You just want to buy hundreds of Lego sets.
You can
honestly, you know what? I respect it.
I respect the hustle.
I do. I
do enjoy Legos.
Yes. No, Legos are great. I'm just saying a 3D printer would be pretty cool.
My nephew, at least my older nephew Preston, loves playing with Legos. So
one thing I'll say on a baseball front that we're not going to talk about as a full segment today, I'm happy the Mariners signed Rob Refsnyder. I think that's a good move, and it is going to be fun for them just to have another righty in a predominantly lefty batting rotation.
He's a great platoon hitter.
Can we have a little chat about the scarcity on the market of right-handed hitters?
Yeah, and Seattle.
There are very few,
for like just a little over $6 million.
Yeah, like I'll look at it from the scope of the Orioles, that they give a huge deal to Pete Alonso, 5 years, $155 million, and they trade one of their best pitchers for a right-handed outfield bat, and Taylor Ward. And what are we thinking here? Has baseball reached this point of such efficiency that having a righty just doesn't make much sense because they face so many right-handed batters and you want more lefties to take up those at bats, and you're relegating, there's just not many good enough everyday right-handed bats.
So I'll give a quick take on this here. I think it's we're starting to see that scarcity because years and years ago, we were told that the lefty is the one who's going to be your, the specialty guy. Told that if you are a lefty, you have more value as a hitter because there were so many righties. Now there's a lot of left-handed and right-handed pitching, but even more so than that, I personally think that it is easier for a right-handed hitter to hit a right-handed pitcher than it is for a left-handed hitter to hit a left-handed pitcher. Just from everything that I've seen here, to wit that, I'm not going to say inherently makes righties more valuable, but it does give right-handed hitters a little bit more of an advantage in how I personally see a lot of this. And especially now with the 3-batter minimum for a lot of pitchers, having that kind of versatility is important here, and being able to at least work around the handedness there. Right-handed hitters are just going to be have the advantage more times than not. And
yeah. When you think of platoon bats, you don't always think of a guy who's just there to hit right-handed pitching, but you always hear about guys like Rob Refsnyder, who are they're signed to rosters to hit left-handed pitching. It's just I don't know what it is, but I feel like with righties they talk about platoon splits way more than lefties, because I don't know, lefty matchups. Although there are nowadays a lot of lefties who hit lefties well. I'll say that much.
Jordan Alvarez comes to mind.
Juan Soto.
Soto, Harper.
Schwarber.
Yeah, hit 300 against lefties in 2024. I do think part of it is righties have to be good against everyone, because if you're a righty that can't hit righties, you're not going to play. So you have to have some baseline level, and that bears itself out in the numbers that the left on left versus right on right-handed hitters are have a much higher OPS, or much better against other righties than left on left, because lefties, you don't see many lefties coming up. Righties, it's like you could theoretically go an entire season of youth baseball and all you see is righties. Like you could go years without seeing a lefty, months and months and months, even with a full baseball calendar without seeing a lefty. And a lefty is going to face even less of that, but you're always going to face righties. The majority of the population is righties. And even at the big league level, the majority of pitchers are righties. So was just curious there. And also I think we've seen a spike in left-handed reliever prices. And Alex, your Mariners traded for Jose Ferrer, a fireballing lefty, and you give up Harry Ford. And you can say, well, Harry Ford's blocked and yada, yada, and Seattle's a good farm, whatever. But the fact of the matter is they gave up one of their top prospects for a reliever.
Yeah.
But it's a left-handed reliever, and a left-handed reliever who, in theory, can get out righties as well. So that's the the exciting upside there in Ferrer, that it's a lefty, so he is going to just clobber lefties. Like, this is what makes the Blake Snells of the world so dominant, that sometimes the righties, you'll walk the righties to face the lefties. But if you allow a 200 OPS to lefties, that is a viable strategy to, do I really want to pitch to Mookie Betts today? No, we're going to face a lefty in the Dodgers lineup. He's on the Dodgers now, so that's irrelevant. Let's say you're playing the Braves. We're going to get Michael Harris out, so we're just going to walk. We're going to walk the righties in the lineup. We're going to get Harris out. So, we'll walk Riley, or we'll walk the platoon bat in left field to replace Yastrzemski. But Michael Harris, we're going to go at you, and you're going to strike out on 3 pitches. So
Fair enough.
That's another interesting angle, that the right-handed hitters in the market are getting pushed up price-wise. The left-handed bullpen arms are also getting pushed up price-wise.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned this, because I remember 3 years ago when I went out to Montana, when I was at the Pioneer League, I had an Uber driver from the airport who was telling me that there's a big population of left-handed kids who play baseball there, but there's no high school baseball. So he was like, it's a shame that Montana is one of those states where you don't have high school baseball, but you have this huge influx of kids who are left-handed who probably have a chance at maybe making it to the pros because of that.
Yeah. It's a little bit more rare to find a lefty at this point that is as good as a lot of the other players here, but there's also just some lefties that are absolutely dominant. I mean, look at Clayton Kershaw. I think it's one of the best ones, at least in recent history here. Randy Johnson, by the way, says hi. But speaking of lefties here, there was a big bat that finally a decision has been made here, coming over from Japan, Munetaka Murakami. People were like, where's he going to sign? Should he sign here? Are the question marks too big here for teams to really take a chance on him? Well, the decision has been made. He is signing with the Chicago White Sox. I think that took a lot of us by surprise when it hit. The more you think about it, though, it makes sense. But first of all, again, 2 years, $34 million here. So 17 a year here. Can you guys give me your instant reactions when you saw the Jeff Passan bomb come down here? Yeah, Splash, go for it, man.
Yeah.
I can see the bold italicized text already. With all due respect to James Wood and Riley Green and the other strikeout artists of today, I would bet some money on Murakami leading the majors in strikeouts. Now, this is more of a shot at the White Sox than a shot at Murakami himself. If there's a spot for Murakami to get all of the plate appearances, it is Chicago. Mm-hmm. If there is a spot that will allow him to fail at the big league level, it is Chicago. There was a thought if he went to another team, maybe the team that is back-to-back World Series champions, maybe he spends some time in Oklahoma City. But he goes to the White Sox. He should start at third base, and he should play 162 games, or whatever that means in a 2026 context. He's going to strike out some. I don't care, frankly. I don't care. You are the White Sox. You are probably going to finish last again. It is what it is. But you should park him at third base for all 162 games. If it's bad, it doesn't matter. You can move him later. You can do the Ryan Braun method later. You can do the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. method later. But this season, I want Murakami to be the everyday third baseman for the Chicago White Sox. I want him to strike out a lot. I want him to walk a lot. I want him to hit a bunch of homers. And if he screws it up bad at third base, I don't care. Ryan Braun moved to left field after a bad 2007 season in the field. Vladimir Guerrero eventually won a Gold Glove, in fact, at first base. So you can move him later, but I want him to play third base, and I want him in the lineup every single day. There is no reason he should not be in the lineup. This is a young team. You have a lot of top prospects coming up. Colson Montgomery is up. He had a torrid stretch at the end of last season. I want to see him play third. ESPN thinks he'll play first. What's the point? Park him at third and say, we believe in you to figure this out. We trust you. It's okay that you're going to might strike out 200 times if you play that many games. It's okay. It's okay to fail. We want the best for you. We think the upside in you is tremendous. We think you are the best home run hitter we have had since Frank Thomas and Jim Thome back in the day. We want you to succeed. We believe in you. Go get him.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure they already have said he's going to play first.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing.
Which,
lame.
Honestly, I mean, I'll say my reaction to this, though, was I think this is a win for both parties.
Absolutely.
The White Sox get a young, exciting player. And Murakami, if he had signed with the Dodgers, there's a real chance he could have spent the whole year in Oklahoma City. I mean, unless, I know Max Muncy's kind of injury prone. Say Max Muncy or Freddie Freeman get hurt, then all right, maybe Murakami comes up and gets his reps. But, you look at the Steamer projections, 231, 333, 458. That's a 118 WRC plus with 30 homers. And yes, he is projected to strike out 160 times. But, I mean, I think if you get that as a 25-year-old in your first year in the majors, that is perfectly acceptable. Especially on a team like the White Sox, where he's going to get to play every day. They're not expected to contend, and this is his time to make mistakes. That's the other thing, is that if he had gone to a contending team, there would have been a lot less margin for error for him. With the White Sox, expectations are low for the team. They're an improving team, and they do have some young pieces like Colson Montgomery, like Chase Meidroth, and for now, Kyle Teal. I know he's been in trade rumors this offseason, but I think this is fine. And say he has a great 2 years in Chicago. He's going to be 27 when he re-enters the free agent market, and he could get a much greater payday. So I appreciate that he's betting on himself here, taking a short-term deal, and he's signing with a team that isn't expected to contend. But I think it's an exciting time for the White Sox and their fans. And shout out to Pope Leo. I'm sure he's probably already purchased a number 5 Murakami jersey. And it's exciting for Murakami. He's going to get, like I said, he's going to get to play every day. We'll find out what he's made of in the field and at the plate. And I think he's going to have a solid year. He might come out of the gate slow, but I think once we get later in the year, he's going to start figuring things out.
Yeah. One thing I want to bring up here is that this move is, I think, the more and more I think about it, it's perfect. This is exactly, if you are Murakami, what you want to do here, because this is the rookie version, if I could say that here, of the Prove It deal. We see a lot of major leaguers here take shorter deals, even if they feel that they're worth more than it. Shorter 1 year deals, 1 or 2 year deals worth not a whole ton of money, but with the chance to show that they are worth that kind of money, and then they can get that big payday here. For Murakami, absolutely, everyone was thinking it was going to be Dodgers, but at the same time, here it makes less and less sense the more you look at it here, because the main thing that Murakami needs is at bats. Murakami needs to go out against major league pitching. If you put him up against AAA pitching, it's not going to do what you need it to do. It is just not going to work, because the biggest issue that people have had with Murakami here coming into the MLB this year has been, how is he going to adapt to major league pitching? There was a lot of botched stats about how he does versus velocity and all that. I'm not even going to bring up any of that, because also we don't know how much of that was even real. So with that being said, though, here, I want to see him just go out and have fun. Just go play ball here, because like we're bringing up here, the reason why the White Sox are the perfect place, or second to perfect place, I'll bring the other one in a moment, is that you are, well, I guess I could say perfect. I'll go into the other team in a moment. Is that right now you are in a position where the stress is not high. The stress is not high for you because you are not on a contender. You're not on a Dodgers that have expectations of not just making, but winning the World Series for a third year in a row. You are not on the Braves, who have a prove-it year in front of them after 2025 that went not as good as you wanted it to go. You are not on a team like, say, the Royals, that are on the rise here, but still need that extra push going forward. No. You're on the Chicago White Sox, a team that betting odds has more than likely to finish last place again. Well, there's a few teams that are in that. We'll get to that point. But what I want to bring up here, the main thing with this is that he's going to have the time to get to play every single day, whether it be first base or third base here. And the other team I was just alluding to a moment ago here, was the Colorado Rockies. Because of the same exact thing, a low expectation team that has a bit of a history with hit the ball very far. But that could go against him, saying that his power is the Coors effect. So I like it even more that he's in Chicago. It is not easy to hit home runs in Chicago when there is something called Chicago wind, that you don't know what the ball is going to do there. So when it comes to Murakami overall, the more and more I thought about it, him signing with the White Sox was perfect. For him, he gets to go and face off against actual really good major league pitching here every single day. And he gets to play Major League Baseball every single day. And if you're the White Sox, you get someone that's going to put butts in seats. There's a lot of people that are going to go to more games just to see Murakami now, because you've heard all about this sensation in Japan that came over and has decided to play for your White Sox, the team that has been perennially out of the discussion for any sort of contendership, even for getting any big free agents. And now he's there playing third or first base for you. That will bring in people to watch your game. So it makes perfect sense. Plus, it's a prove-it deal for Murakami to prove that everyone's saying he can't hit velocity, he can't hit real major league pitching. He has the prove-it chance to go for it. Not to mention also, he's apparently a really nice guy. His press conference had him actually bring out a white sock here just for fun, and then also donated a lot of money here to charities within Chicago. So he's already making an improvement. Any other go for it.
Before we move on, gut reaction, he's number 2 in AL Rookie of the Year odds behind Trey Savage. Do we like that?
Yeah, I think it's fair.
I mean, it's tough because I agree with you, Savage being the favorite. I feel like Basayo has already played in the majors, so I would probably put him ahead of him maybe, but I think I agree. If he goes to his steamer projections, or maybe slightly exceeds it, I think it's perfectly reasonable to expect him to be top 2.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I think he'll finish at least in the top 3. And there's a chance he does win it if Yasevich doesn't put up the way that he was during the playoffs, which I don't think that's going to happen. I think Yasevich is going to have himself a great year. But Murakami, again, is the biggest wild card of the rookies this year because he does have professional experience. In fact, he has a good amount of it. He has hit, 246 home runs in Japan, a batting average of 270, was driven in over 600 runs. Like, the dude's played professional baseball. He played against Major League Baseball in the World Baseball Classic. I mean, remember, he was part of that winning team in Japan here alongside Shohei Ohtani here. And he was one of the biggest power threats of that team. And he did, if I can say, pretty darn well. Like, I still have, dreams / nightmares of the MLB The Show card they made.
Oh, that card was amazing.
Yeah, was it in 22 or is it 21?
23.
23, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that card was insane,
so good.
And I loved it. That was the best card legitimately for the entire year that people would use their wild card picks to keep having on your team. But
72 days until the World Baseball Classic, by the way.
Let's
just saying.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I'm about do you guys think that we will have another electrician striking out Shohei Ohtani?
It's possible.
Please.
I hope so.
I need another story like that in my veins. I absolutely need it. Yeah, but
and my 2 cents on Murakami as a rookie of the year, I like it from a value standpoint. There is no reason he shouldn't get 500, 600 plate appearances and play every single day. Now, I know it's a bad lineup, so the runs and RBI aren't going to be there. So if you're a fantasy baseball player, maybe take him around later than he's going. But I like it from who's going to have the most doubles among rookies? He's a solid bet. Who's going to have the most home runs among rookies? He's a solid bet. Like if Trey Savage has his struggles, Toronto has major expectations this season, so he might be shipped off to Buffalo or he might go to the bullpen. If Samuel Basallo can't hit, well, the Orioles don't have a spot for him. If Chase DeLauder doesn't hit, Cleveland is trying to win the division, So that's the thing, that if Murakami has like 2 weeks that he goes 1 for 57, the White Sox can just roll him out again and have him bat 6th in the order instead of batting 3rd in the order. So that's one reason why I'd like the value. Of course, it's December 22nd, so it's kind of pointless to have this discussion. We saw last year that, Drake Baldwin won in National League and he wasn't supposed to be on the opening day roster. And then in spring training, Sean Murphy gets hurt. So all of a sudden, Drake Baldwin's the opening day catcher. And in the American League, it was Nick Kurtz. He wasn't up at the beginning of the year. Like, I thought it would be Jacob Wilson, and we had other various picks, the Roman Anthony's of the world. He didn't start the year up. So is it a little pointless? Sure. But if you're looking for a value bet, the most likely player to play 150 games out of this group is Murakami.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I also think he's probably going to get a little bit of DH time in there too. Here, but not like a ton. Obviously, you want him to be your everyday first baseman, third baseman, that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're going to move on to a couple of trades here that have gone on. Some pretty big moves overall. We'll start with one involving the Cardinals and the Red Sox here, as it has been reported that the Red Sox acquire Wilson Contreras, first baseman and catcher technically, in a trade with the Cardinals here, sending over $8 million to help cover the rest of the contract, as well as right-hander Hunter Dobbins, which is the main key piece going back to the Cardinals, as well as a couple of right-handed pitching prospects. So this move made a lot of sense, especially since right now the Red Sox still are a little hesitant on what they want to do at first base here, but at the same time, like, this is another move that's showing that the Red Sox are really trying to compete within the AL East, which, again, you're adding a lot more things to the AL East here with now the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Rays all competing. And then there's, hi, Orioles. How you doing? But with that being said here, tell me what you guys think here about this deal, because is this the team saying that we're done with Tristan Casas? Is this the team saying that, okay, we need to just go out and improve in an area that we've not done as well at? Tell me what you guys think on this.
Yeah, and by the way, I will mention, it just popped in my head that the Orioles traded a king's ransom to acquire Shane Baz earlier this week.
Oh my gosh, yeah, the Shane Baz trade.
But anyway, back to Contreras. First of all, I don't think the Red Sox had to give up that much. Dobbins is a major league arm, and I think he has potential. I'm not saying he's going to be an ace necessarily, but it's he's going to be a solid mid rotation arm. I think in the majors. He was decent in his stint in the bigs. When we talk about the other guys they traded, neither of them are ranked in Boston's top 30 prospects, or they weren't ranked before the trade. Well, actually, I mean, I can double check that, but the Sox had depth they could afford to expend. And Contreras, what this tells me is they don't have a ton of confidence in Tristan Casas' ability to stay on the field. It feels like he has an injury every year. I think he's talented. I really like Casas and his bat. He can hit home runs. He draws walks. He has great plate discipline. But he's not a great defender, which Contreras actually has turned out to be a pretty solid defensive first baseman, transitioning from being a catcher. But he can hit well still. He has good bat speed. He's still well above average. And really, I think as a right-handed hitter at Fenway Park, I think he's going to do really well in Boston. But I also am wondering, what are the Red Sox thinking with Alex Bregman? Can they bring Alex Bregman back? Because they need a third baseman, clearly. And the options on the market are basically you can get Bregman back. You could try getting Eugenio Suarez for a year or two. Or maybe, they have a glut of outfielders. Maybe you trade Jarren Duran in a deal that gets you a third baseman. So the Red Sox now need to address third base first and foremost. I like this move for them, though. This is a stopgap type move. Maybe it also could allow Casas more time to develop. So I think overall it's a good move for Boston. And I think the Cardinals got a decent enough return. It won't blow you away, but it's solid.
I am going to read off a list. Pete Alonso, Rafael Devers, Freddie Freeman, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Francisco Lindor, Shohei Ohtani, Jose Ramirez, Kyle Schwarber, Juan Soto. What do these 10 players have in common? Well, they have what's that?
Oh, never mind. No, you have a better answer probably.
Yes. They have a 120 OPS plus in at least 350 plate appearances the last 4 seasons. Wilson Contreras is the 11th member of that group. There are not many hitters that are as consistently good as Contreras. Now, he's not an MVP level hitter like Judge or like Ohtani. He's not going to hit 50 home runs like Schwarber did or like Alonso has done in the past. And heck, he isn't even as good of a hitter as Rafael Devers. Good job, Boston. I don't know how you screw that one up, but regardless.
I wonder where they could get a player like that.
Yeah, really, truly. And Mookie Betts, he was on your team too. Anyways, and Mookie Betts isn't even on this list. So, hey, the Red Sox, maybe they upgraded. I don't know. But Contreras, when he's on the field, and he is, for being a former catcher, he is on the field quite a bit. Maybe not Cal Raleigh levels, but he qualified for the batting title this season. Last year, he probably would have qualified if JD Martinez didn't break his arm on a swing. And then the 2 years in 2022 and 2023 was when he was a primary catcher, he was right around 500 plate appearances. There are not many more consistent hitters than Wilson Contreras. In a lot of ways, he is like an upgraded version of Carlos Santana, in that Carlos Santana is going to be a league average bat every single season, regardless if he's 30 years old or 73 years old. Wilson Contreras is going to be a good bat, a 120 to 130 OPS plus guy, year in and year out. He's going to hit for some power. He's going to hit for some doubles. I like the fit in Boston. And in a lineup that was lacking, like we all saw them against the Yankees in the playoffs, and they're starting guys that a casual baseball fan has never heard of as the cleanup hitter in a do-or-die playoff game. Wilson Contreras helps stretch the lineup out. Retaining Alex Bregman would help stretch the lineup out. Healthy Roman Anthony, healthy Willie Abreu, Jarren Duran. I know we have the conversation. We can talk about the Padres too, that, you're going to trade all these players. When you trade players, it's good to have a stockpile of assets. And yes, that helps for trades. But Jarren Duran is a difference maker. And I think Wilson Contreras is a difference maker. And I think he is a great bet. You don't want to necessarily say against Tristan Casas. Hopefully they can coexist. But you have Yoshida, you have taking up some DH time. Casas, I'd imagine, takes up some DH time. Contreras is going to have some DH time. All the outfielders, you're going to have to rotate through at some point. Christian Campbell might get some DH time. But I think this is a really good move for the Red Sox. The Cardinals are, you know what? Good for the Cardinals. They acknowledge that they stink and they are trying to get better in the future. Good for them.
Yeah.
Now they have to beg someone to take Nolan Arenado's contract.
I wonder who needs a third baseman.
And for Arenado to maybe waive his no trade clause. Hey, this is the second deal that the Cardinals and Red Sox have linked up on.
I was about to bring that up. Yeah, exactly.
Kyle Bloom just loves trading with his former team.
I mean,
who I think could use him. Maybe the Colorado Rockies could use a third baseman.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I think I've heard about that. Yeah.
Well, I wonder,
is Charlie Condon going to play this year?
I mean, there's no risk in letting him. I mean,
yeah.
Okay. With all due respect, the Rockies' third baseman this year is slated to be a man by the name of Kyle Karros.
That's Eric Karros' son.
Okay.
Yes.
We have achieved. Also, shout out to Nicky Lopez, Braves legend. Kyle Karros. I can't say I'm familiar with your game, but looks like I'll be making a graphic for Kyle Karros here in a couple weeks.
I guess so, yeah. But yeah, no, going back to what you were saying a second ago, this is the second trade now this offseason between the Cardinals and the Red Sox. Here are, of course, earlier acquiring Sonny Gray, now acquiring Wilson Contreras. I don't think it's even impossible that they go for Arenado. Would it be a good idea? Probably not. But at the same time, it doesn't look impossible. Anyway, the main thing I have when it comes to this move overall here is that this is another one of those moves that proves that the Red Sox are in it to win it. They see that they have a shot. They played very, very well last year, again, making it into the playoffs here. And then, again, while it was short-lived, you still put up some good stuff in the playoffs. And you thought, okay, we're just a little bit more. We need just a bit more. And they've done that. They've added a good veteran starting pitcher, and now you've added probably one of the most consistent first basemen in the game. Here, not the most, but one of. And you still have more things that you need to address, and I still think they're going to here. But this is another one of those moves that is, I think, more for the locker room than anything, because this is one that shows everyone, look, we were so darn close. We were so darn close. Let's add a bit and win it all here. And that's what I'm seeing here from this Red Sox team. They still have a lot of positions to go, but I still think my main thing that I'm seeing, another main thing I should say, what does this mean overall for Tristan Casas? Because you go back to last year, right? Tristan Casas was a name that was thrown around by a lot of people as a trade target here, especially in talks with the Mariners. Although, to be fair, they said, we want Luis Castillo, and we're like, hell no. And that move worked out really well for Seattle. But 2025 was not Casas' year, as Splash is showing on it here. A negative 0.9 WAR here, an OPS plus of just 62. Don't get me wrong. Year before was amazing. It was fantastic. This is not a regression. This is, I think, more of he had issues and also did not get to play that much. Because if I remember right, he got hurt. Isn't that right? Yeah. So with that being said, then, he only played 29 games, and even in those 29 games, didn't look good. So is this the Red Sox giving up on Casas? Are they going to try to move him to another position. Someone maybe see if he's your answer at third base. Here, try to see, can you play third base?
I don't know if I want to see that happen.
I don't either, but I'm trying to see what can you do to try to have, because you have some pretty good value in him. Again, go back to 2023, finished third in the Rookie of the Year. Next year does okay, but was hurt. Again, only 63 games. Next year, gets hurt again, only 29 games. So now you have injury concerns with this guy. So what is your plan? Because right now, by signing Contreras, you're not signing him up to put him in the outfield. You're probably not signing him to try to be a catcher at his age right now. You're signing him to be a first baseman. And if that is the case, you got to figure out what to do with Casas, because his value is only going down the less he plays here. So with that being said here, any other notes we want to have for this Wilson Contreras trade before we move on to our next trade?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the Sox realizing they need bat. That offense did not cut it in the playoffs. I mean, God, that without Roman Anthony, that lineup kind of looked punchless. And that was Bregman coming off an injury, and Trevor Story was fine, but like the lineup as a whole was not great. Now, I just wonder what's going to happen with Jarren Duran. Also, I think that's the thing is there's a clear answer with Casas, which is you can make him a DH. There's not a clear answer with Duran, a guy who at one point was a strong defensive outfielder, but he also doesn't hit enough to be an everyday DH. So the Sox kind of have like too many players right now. You could say that about their pitching staff too. So I think they have room to make big moves, and I'm expecting them to do that. This is a team that, when healthy, they're a team that could contend not only just for the AL East, but I would give them a good shot against basically anybody in the American League.
Yeah.
With moving Contreras in, I think you put Casas in a difficult spot. Not that you can play Casas and Contreras together, but you have two left-handed DH types now in Yoshida and Casas. And you're not going to move Contreras back behind the plate. We saw that not exactly the best defensive catcher, we'll say that. And you like what you got out of Carlos Narvaez last season. So Contreras is going to play first or DH, and Casas and Yoshida have to battle for the platoon at bats, and that's not a great spot to be in. Now, on the bright side, they are both left-handed, so they'll have the platoon advantage most of the time, but you already have three left-handed hitting outfielders in your lineup, and Marcelo Meyer is a left-handed hitter. So you're with Yoshida or Casas, that's five lefties in your lineup already. Like if you go up against any sort of team with a good left-handed reliever, you need like crazy lineup construction to avoid having to put in Romy Gonzalez and Nick Sogard and Nate Eaton and just, and
they just lost one of their lefty specialists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
like you're in a goofy spot. And I think Boston needs to, on one hand, I think it's fine because both Casas and Yoshida are not exactly Iron Men. So is it really going to matter? Probably not. Casas is going to tweak his oblique, and Yoshida's going to get every at bat in April, and then Yoshida's going to, twist his knee running to first base, and Casas is going to be back, and he's going to play all of May, whatever it may be. It all works out in the end. Like I lean on the side of having good players, but if you want to reshuffle the deck and trade Yoshida or trade Casas and get a right-handed bat or trade Duran and get a more pitching, or you just want to reshuffle, I understand, but I also do err on the side of get good players, good hitters.
Yeah, and that's what makes it all kind of odd here is that you definitely are acquiring a good hitter with this. You are acquiring someone that is going to be a good hitter for you. It's just about what you do with the rest of the pieces that are around here, because they don't line up as well as you would like them to here, because honestly, it'd be magical if you could just have, I could place this here, place this here, play this here. That's not how it works here for the Red Sox right now. And that's not necessarily the worst thing. It just means you have options. You have options, and you need to make sure you still fill the actual full remaining holes here. With that being said, Let's move on to our next trade here, as the Mets today engaged in a trade that sent away one of their faces here, as they have sent away Jeff McNeil over to the A's in exchange for a 17-year-old. That's the trade. Like that's the trade. Like, so the Mets also sent away, by the way, an extra $5.75 million to help pay the salary, and also have agreed to pay the $2 million buyout if the option is not exercised. And the Mets receive right-handed pitcher Yordan Rodriguez, again, not old enough to smoke. I gotta be honest here. This surprised me a bit here, just from the idea of I'm not sure what the Mets are doing, and it's not like because I want to go first on this one here, is that this feels weird for a team that, yes, you're losing a lot of pieces, but you've already said we're not contending either. You said that you are still going to compete, you're still going to do everything, and you are trying to reset in a lot of ways. But how can you also be not like why would you not compete if you have Juan Soto on your team for as long as you have him for? And you've lost now what? Jeff McNeil now. Here, you've lost Edwin Diaz, you've lost Pete Alonso here, and you have also
Nimmo
signed say again?
Nimmo as well.
Nimmo, thank you. Yes, and you have also signed Jorge Polanco. So what are you doing?
I have two things before Matt goes. Number one, McNeil's going to be 34 in April. Number two, I'm surprised Luis Severino isn't a Met again.
That's who I was expecting the return to be.
Throwing that out there. So go ahead, Mac.
Yeah, I actually saw this coming from a mile away. Even before the Mets traded Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Semien, it just seemed McNeil was the easy guy to move. They have a glut of infielders. Even before acquiring Semien, Jet Williams is probably going to be in the majors. If not this, he won't be in the majors on opening day, but he could be in the majors later this summer. He could be in the majors next year. He's on the doorstep of being in the majors. Like Splash said, McNeil's turning 34 in April. His bat just has not been the same since he won the batting title in 2022. He showed flashes of it in the second half of 2024. Then he gets hit in the wrist. He's out for the year. This year, he showed flashes of it. Then he had a terrible month of September. Turns out he was dealing with some thoracic outlet syndrome type symptoms. He needed surgery on his wrist. He wasn't particularly popular in the clubhouse either. So that he's it's hard to say, hard to fathom that this could possibly be the case, but he's the only player who publicly had two sort of run-ins, I guess you could call it, with Francisco Lindor, who is perceived as the captain of the clubhouse. Now, I'm not saying Lindor is perfect. I'm not saying Juan Soto is perfect either, or that you have to be, a super vocal leader, or that every player has to lead in some way. But McNeil's one of the older players on the roster, and he was not looked at as necessarily a leader in the clubhouse. Now, I think he can still be a solid, useful player. I think playing in Sacramento, his numbers are going to get better. He can probably be better than a 111 WRC plus guy. But I think he slots in well to the Athletics lineup. He had no role in New York anymore. And I think it's fine getting Rodriguez is a 17-year-old who was solid in the Dominican Summer League. Like I said, he's 17, so we have a long way to go before we're judging like what he can actually be in the majors. Heck, he might, say they get, to the point where they're trying to trade for another player. He might be a prospect they deal away at some point. But I think it's a perfectly fine deal for both sides. The Mets get out of the last couple of years of McNeil's contract and allows them to be flexible. They can go sign another bat, maybe use that money also to get some more arms.
So they called Jeff McNeil the Squirrel in Queens. I think a more apt nickname is the Scapegoat. When your team has a historic collapse, you gotta shuffle the deck chairs a little bit. The Ravens are about to do this. Bye-bye, John Harbaugh. So McNeil just makes sense as one of the players to Exodus. And this is a word to people making rankings this season. I want you to look at the second name on this list, Zach Geloff. After 2023, people were falling over themselves to put him in their top 10s, even their top 5s at the second base position. He has been not very good the last 2 years, so just pump the brakes just a smidge.
Also, for the record, I had to look it up. Jeff McNeil had a 514 OPS in September. Like, I'm not saying he was the reason the Mets completely fell apart, but like he did not help. All right, I liked. McNeil objectively was a good Met, and I think he's going to have a complicated legacy in New York. But it's just when you completely fall apart down the stretch, and the rest of the team does, and there's a lot of turmoil, I feel like, in the clubhouse. Clearly, the clubhouse needed to shake up too. So I think McNeil, just from the outset, it seemed like he was the most obvious Met that was going to be gone this for 2026.
You make a good point on that. Here, I think I just find it weird with the idea of you're still trying to compete, so let's get rid of one of our guys. But the
thing is that like McNeil right now wouldn't be starting. Like he's not. That's the thing, is that if he had a more prominent role, like he was for sure going to be playing second base every day or playing left field every day, then great. But he wouldn't be.
That's fair. Understandable. With that being said, we're going to move into a new segment that we have here. It is time for our question of the day. Here, we are going to bring up a question to you, the fans of Losses Above Replacement. Here, and this is another one of those one-word type question things. It's not like a trivia question. Trivia's coming in a minute. But for this one here, we've been talking a lot about trades. One name has been really kind of dominating, I want to say, the trade market here. The name has been Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte has been one of the biggest trade pieces here that has been talked about this offseason. So, fellas and listeners, I want you to just give me your one-word answer of what team will Ketel Marte be on starting in 2026, in the 2026 season. What is your one-word answer for this?
Mariners.
Oh, I don't know if I want that. Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's honestly fair. That's very fair.
Honestly, that's insane, Cope, because these teams do not act rationally.
Absolutely not.
Let me give you a hypothetical. There's a player named Arnold Racuna. He signs a ridiculously undervalued contract for being a MVP adjacent player in his young days. Imagine if his team, the Balanta Arvs, traded him at the peak of his powers when he is returning peak on your investment. Imagine if the Arvs did that. That's what the Diamondbacks are thinking about doing. And yes, we talked about Boston and we talked about reallocating resources. And yes, Marte would fetch a haul. Maybe that's why Alex wouldn't want to trade for him, because that would involve probably parting ways with two high-quality pitchers. Maybe not necessarily Logan Gilbert and George Kirby, or Brian Wu, but that would, like, a good pitcher, high-level prospects, like plural. Like, there may not be a more valuable asset than the Ketel Marte contract. That now that Ronald Acuna's ACLs are made out of paper, like I said. That's the scary thing. And Arizona thinks, oh man, I wonder if we can turn this into more valuable pieces. I wonder if we can get some pitching. Listen, you went to the World Series with an amazing offense. The next year, you had the number one run-scoring offense in baseball. I get that you want pitching. Ketel Marte is not a player you trade. Oh, we're going to get some assets. We're going to get this. It's the Family Guy thing. Are you going to get a player as good as Ketel Marte? Unlikely. Are you going to get a player as valuable as Ketel Marte? Unlikely. You're trying to rebuild him in the aggregate with probably a position player and a pitcher, maybe a third asset. And maybe the WAR wins out for that trio of players over a full season, but Ketel Marte is the best second baseman in baseball. Sorry for spoiling a video we have coming in a couple of weeks. He's the best second baseman in baseball. He is as good of a contract value as any player that's not in the first couple of years. Like Roman Anthony is a cheat code here because he's awesome and making the minimum. Okay, on a player making actual dollars and cents, Ketel Marte is as good as it gets value-wise, and the Diamondbacks are like, how can we screw this up? Who helped you get to the World Series? Who had a hit in every single playoff game he played in 2023? Ketel Marte. I know that he struck out to end the series, and maybe that's what management has playing in a loop. This guy, he got us to the World Series, but he's actually a choke artist. No, he's...
Yeah.
The mystery box can be anything, though. It could even be a boat.
It's not going to be Ketel Marte. I'm sorry. It's not going to be a player as good as Ketel Marte.
Yeah. All right. My answer is actually very similar to one of y'all's. I'm saying Arizona here is my one-word answer. And it's actually for a very different reason than what Splash is bringing up. The Diamondbacks are asking for a legitimate king's ransom for Ketel Marte, which makes sense given Ketel Marte's low value on the contract, I should say. As a player, value extremely high. But here's the thing. When a hypothetical trade package, let's say with Seattle, right, includes the names Logan Gilbert, Ryan Sloan together in one thing for one player, I'm good. Don't get me wrong. Marte is very good. I'm not giving up a near Cy Young caliber starting pitcher and one of the top pitching prospects in Major League Baseball for a guy that I've actually already seen in a Mariner jersey. Again, yes, that was his rookie days. I don't want to see. I think Seattle giving that up would be a major misplay. And I think a lot of teams are going to think the exact same way. If I have to say that he is going to get traded to one team, I'm actually going to say Boston. I think Boston makes some level of sense here. And plus, if they really are in this win now mode here, I could see them being in the mix. So, with that being said, let us know, where do you think Ketel Marte plays in 2026? Let us know on Twitter at LAR_baseball or on YouTube. Here, losses above replacement there. But now it is time for everyone's favorite segment. It is time for trivia. And today I will be hosting the trivia. And I'm going to bring this back to a man that we've talked about today here. And that is one Munetaka Murakami. So he had a very interesting deal. Like we're talking about, 2 years, $34 million. Believe it or not, the White Sox have not given out a lot of high-level deals here, like AAV specifically. They've really not here. In fact, there's only 4 deals that they have given up, have signed in the entire history of the franchise that has a higher annual value than what Murakami is getting. Only 4 that have a higher number. You two are going to go back-to-back here on trying to basically guess who these players are. And if you get it wrong, you get a strike. If you both get through all 4 with no issues, then I have a tiebreaker question that'll go along with it.
Are these just free agent signings or just include extensions?
These, let me bring it up here. It looks like most of these are free agent here, but I cannot fully confirm that. These are just deals that the White Sox have had a higher annual value, or AAV, than what Murakami is getting right now, which I will give you that number. It is $17 million.
All right.
Here. So with that being said, I have here a coin.
I think whoever goes first gets a massive advantage.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Anyway, all right. So let's see. Splash, you called it out here, so you get a call. Heads or tails?
Oh God. Tails never fails.
It is heads. All right. You want to go first, I'm assuming?
Yes, I do.
All righty. What is your first pick?
Yasmani Grandal.
That is exactly correct. Yasmani
So-
Grandal had a AAV of 18.25 million over the course of his deal. So
boy.
honestly, not that much higher than Murakami's.
Yeah.
All right, Splash, it is over to you now.
Okay, I believe this guy has the highest contract value in the history of the White Sox. Andrew Benintendi.
Oh,
Andrew Benintendi
buddy.
is a strike.
What?
Yeah.
His AAV is only 15 million.
Yeah, it's 75 million, but it's over 5 years. So,
No.
Yeah, it's AAV.
yeah.
Yes,
All
he
right.
has the highest over. I will give you this. He does have the highest guaranteed deal in White Sox history, but not through AAV. All right. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I want to make sure we get through these here, so I'm gonna give now Mac a chance to. If you could get the next one right, I'll. It's not gonna be over, but you'll have a massive advantage.
Okay. I think I remember this guy getting a big contract with the White Sox. I just don't remember what the AAV was. Adam Dunn?
Adam Dunn is not correct. Adam Dunn, his AAV was 14 million.
Oh.
All right, Splash, you're still in it.
Okay, I'm going to go.
Oh, I just realized who. Well, yeah, Go ahead.
No, yeah, Splash's turn. You have 3 left.
So this would be an extension candidate. Jose Abreu.
Jose Abreu is not correct either.
Wait,
His
what?
AAV, even with the extension, was 16.67 million.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. I got an answer.
All right, Mac, back to you.
Dallas Keuchel.
Dallas Keuchel is correct.
Yes.
18.5 million AAV on his deal with the White Sox. All right. Splash, it's not over yet.
This
Can
is
you
like
give
the
me-
Ravens in the playoffs.
It feels like it, right? Anyway. All right, there are 2 more names.
Okay. Because I don't think they would have hired any like hired gun types. So like example, Hassan Kim is a $20 million player this year. So this would have to be like a 2-year, $35 million deal or bigger.
What was the name you said again, Mac?
Dallas Keuchel.
Yost Keuchel. Okay. I want to make sure I didn't accidentally say another name. Okay.
Okay. I don't think so. Luis Robert has a big deal, but it not AAV wise. That's just like a long term, like buying out RBers sort of deal.
Right.
Adam Eaton.
Adam Eaton is incorrect. Here, I'm actually trying to find Adam Eaton's deal on this list that I have.
Okay, just urinate on my grave while you do that.
That wasn't the plan here. I was just trying to give the answer to you. Jeez.
Well, I'm going to scroll down the list here, buddy.
No, because I just didn't. I don't have because I didn't keep a tab on everyone. I'm sorry. Sploosh. All right, Nak, if you give one more here, then you'll lock it away.
All right. I'm gonna take a wild guess here. I know he didn't finish his contract, but Adam LaRoche.
Adam LaRoche is also incorrect.
Ah!
Okay.
Adam LaRoche, his was at 12.5 million.
Okay. I'm just gonna. The money probably doesn't make sense here. Frank Thomas.
It is not Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas, highest AAV, believe it or not, was only 5.6 million with the White Sox.
Okay, I can't remember if this guy got a 3 or 4 year deal, so this might be wrong. Liam Hendricks.
Liam Hendricks is correct, and we'll get you the game.
What?
Here, Liam Hendricks had the contract of exactly 18 million.
Yeah,
AAV.
3 years, 54 million.
That is, with all due respect to relievers out there, $18 million for a reliever before this season. Whew.
I need to tell you though, that's not the egregious one. You guys did not get the number 1 contract that they given out AAV wise.
James Shields,
pitcher.
Oh God. Craig
Relief
Kimbrell.
pitcher?
Yep.
Kimbrell?
What?
It's not Kimbrell.
Wait, you said relief pitcher?
Relief pitcher, closing pitcher. Yep.
John.
So it had to be recent then.
What's his name? Bobby
his
James
name?
doesn't make much sense.
It was So wait, it's a release. Oh my god! Wait,
As far as this list, and by the way, if this list is wrong, I'm okay being wrong. Here, I got this thing that has all the AAV of every deal that's happened since the start of the team. Well, since 1991, I should say.
David Robertson. I mean, it's
nope. I'll give you guys this hint. He is a former Mariner.
Adam Simber.
No.
Wait, he's a former Mariner?
Yep.
The guy that they traded to the Astros.
Kendall Graveman?
Kendall Graveman.
Hey, I get bonus points for that one.
24 million AAV.
How's that possible?
I don't know. That's just what it is. Apparently,
I have to fact check this.
I gotta fact check that.
Please fact check. I want to be wrong.
With all by the way, Kendall Graveman, there's no way the White Sox paid him $24 million to come pitch on their baseball team.
By the way, Adam Eaton, I just found was at 8 million AAV.
Yeah.
So please,
I don't know where you're getting. Yeah, I don't know where you're getting.
So I found
number.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay. $24 million
buyout
contract?
Was there some? So, because on my list here, it has his sign. He signed for the 3 years. Did it just get messed up? Then it's very possible to get messed up here.
I was gonna say, I think he had 24 million over the 3 years on the deal.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's just a mistake here. So if that's the case, regardless, Max still wins.
All right,
GG's. But yeah, if I'm wrong, okay, I understand.
Also,
like I said,
the White Sox only have 4 players under contract right now.
What? Say it again.
The White Sox only have 4 players on a contract right now.
That's kind of insane.
Yeah, Benintendi, Robert Anthony Kay, and Derek Hill.
What a quartet.
That was on Spot Track. That doesn't make much sense. Let me see contract. Here we go. I could show you my screen. Yeah, so Murakami 17, Benintendi 15. Yohan Moncada. There's Grandal and Hendricks. Lance Lynn.
Lance Lynn. Wow.
How are you finding this? Because I looked for a while and I could not.
That's 2021.
This is on Spot Track.
I was on Spot Track and it wasn't telling me anything.
Oh.
Anyway, regardless, doesn't matter on this point.
Edwin Encarnacion. I forgot he was a White Sox for a little bit.
Yeah, it was for a minute.
For the pandemic year.
Kelvin Herrera, James Shields.
Big game, James. Anyway, all right. We got to wrap up the show.
Yes, we do.
So, all right. It is now time for the moment to ourselves here, where we take a moment to talk about whatever. It's not remind you, it does not have to be baseball related, but it absolutely can be. Mac has requested to go first. So, with that being said, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, I want to shout out Tyler Kolek, backup point guard. He has been getting more run lately, played more minutes. Shout out Mike Brown for using him properly and using the whole team properly. But he's a baller. He is not a superstar, but he's been playing a lot of minutes when Jalen Brunson is off the court. He was a second round pick. He wasn't the flashiest name in the draft, but he's a good player. I think the league is going to learn more about him. I saw some opposing fans not knowing who he was and thinking he was just a gimmick, but he had 16 points and 11 assists the other day on 7 of 10 shooting. He's a good shooter. He's a good passer. He's just a nifty player, and I'm glad I get to watch him almost every night. So, yeah, shout out to Tyler Kolek. I'm a big fan.
Hey, you know it be like that. Here. All right, Splash, would you like to go next, or would you like me to go?
Sure.
To what? I gave you 2 options. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, begin.
So yeah. just a truly unfathomable year of sports for my teams. I start the year, it's January 1st, 2025. I am all alone in a hotel room in Phoenix, Arizona, eating, I think, Papa John's, some pizza, after watching Boise State get whacked in the Fiesta Bowl. A couple weeks later, the Ravens lose yet another heartbreaker in the playoffs. A couple months later, the Cavs, as the 1 seed, get wrecked by the Pacers. A couple months later, the Braves wrap up their season below 500. And now, as Christmas is upon us, the Cavs are mid. Boise State had their worst season in years. They did win the Mountain West on a tiebreaker, but fair enough. But they underachieved. The Cavs are underachieving. The Ravens are below 500 and are underdogs next week against Green Bay. And the Braves had their worst season since I was in high school. Unfortunate, truly. At least the Red Wings are okay. Yeah. And yes, I know splash, you've seen your teams win championships. It's all going to be okay, and it doesn't really matter. I get that. But at a certain point, having expectations for your team and well-founded expectations, it's not like I'm saying the Braves are going to go 162-0 or the Red Wings are going to win the Stanley Cup. Like, I'm saying reasonable things, or yeah, I think the Ravens will make the playoffs. Maybe Cincinnati will win the division, or maybe Pittsburgh is going to win 10 games and they'll be there. I don't know how many wins Baltimore gets, but Pittsburgh is going to win 9 or 10 games. Like, those were reasonable things for someone to say in preseason. And now it's just like I said earlier, probably the only fan base that has it worse would be Chiefs fans. And keep in mind the Chiefs have made it to the last 3 Super Bowls and won 2 out of 3. But they lost their quarterback to an ACL injury. Packers fans, they're spiraling, losing Parsons, and Watson's hurt, and Jordan Love is hurt right now. So, but they are in a playoff spot. They would have to lose out, and the Lions have to win out. So they'd have to have 4 games go the wrong way for them to miss the playoffs. And it's just the having expectations for something and then underachieving. It's like a double whammy that you underachieved, but it's also you got your hopes up. It would be one thing like the September Braves, for example, when they're out of the playoffs and you're playing for vibes. That was the best the Braves were the entire season, both from a wins and losses perspective and from a vibes perspective. It was less about the result. It was more about having fun. It was more about like the baseball of it all, as opposed to we should be winning the World Series. Like, we can go head to head against the Dodgers and not look horrible. And I mean, I think from a like a lineup perspective, a rotation perspective, a bullpen perspective, like you stack up the Braves and the Dodgers, and I don't think it's like a 4-0 sweep. Dodgers in favor. Like, I think the Dodgers are better, but I don't think it's miles better. I could see a competitive playoff series. But when you have that expectation and the Braves fall over themselves and everyone gets hurt and Schwellenbach misses time and Sale misses time and Strider stinks and Acuna misses the first chunk of the season and Murphy gets hurt multiple times, Riley gets hurt, and Ozzie gets hurt, and Harris just sucks the whole year, and Profar gets suspended, and Iglesias sucks for half the year. It stinks having being a fan of a good team and watching them lose over and over and over again. And like when I was a kid, when I was in middle school and high school and the Braves weren't that good, like you could have fun watching just like they lose and it doesn't really matter because they're going to lose 90 times on the season, right? Or the Ravens are a bad example because they've been largely good unless the quarterback gets hurt. But like the Cavs, the Kyrie only Cavs, those were probably my favorite Cavs teams to watch. They're just going to have fun. Kyrie's going to go bananas, and they might lose. They're probably going to lose because they suck. But those were fun teams to watch. And the years between them being good now, well, good in air quotes, good now, and the LeBron years, the second LeBron years, those were fun too. Like I went to multiple games when I was in Cleveland, and I had a lot of fun of those games. The the Colin Sexton years. I miss the days of Sexland with Colin Sexton, Darius Garland. It's like those teams didn't have expectations. Those teams were going to win 25 games or 30 games and not really be a playoff contender, but they were fun to watch. And now the team is supposed to be the best team in the East, supposed to be a team that's going to win the East, and it's not happening. Garland's been hurt, and when he's back on the floor, he seems off, and Mobley goes through these stretches that he doesn't want to rebound the basketball. And I don't know what Jared Allen is trying to do right now, and Donovan Mitchell is in playoff mode, and that's sometimes good, sometimes bad. He'll score 40 and you lose, or he'll score 36 and you'll lose, and it's just, I don't know. It's just a mess, and I hope the Braves and Ravens have better seasons. The Cavs, I don't know if they just blow it up because this is such a disaster of a season. But I don't know, man.
Yeah, injuries just suck. And they can destroy some of the best teams out there. Yeah. And it just hurts. All right. Can you give me a countdown?
Sure. 3, 2, 1.
First off, good job to the Cougs here, winning the famous Idaho Potato Bowl here against Utah State today. And it still feels weird rooting for WSU because you know how bad it's been. Everybody knows how bad it's been, especially with the fact that you're about to get your third new head coach in 3 years. That's really bad for a program here, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. The main thing, at least. The main thing I'm going to talk about today here is about accepting criticism. It is not easy to hear you're not doing well here, and this is why. Here, it's really hard to hear that sometimes because I know, you're giving your all, you're giving your best efforts here, and to be told that you're not doing it right can suck. It really can just suck. But let's be clear for a sec here. It's all about how you deliver it, and you also have to have an open mind here because most of the time when people are telling you these kinds of things, it is because they want to see you improve. They want to see the best out of you here. And does that mean that you have done something wrong? No. A lot of times it's just ways how to improve on something that you've already been doing here. It's making you better. Imagine right now, we talk a lot on this podcast about players that are not coachable, right? Players that just have issues and then refuse to work on those issues and will just kind of be okay with it. Those kinds of players often get cut or their careers end a lot earlier than they would have liked to. Or what looked like a Hall of Fame career is going to go down in the Hall of What If. Here. It is not always easy, I understand, to take constructive criticism or to be able to take criticism in any of that kind of way. But just going ahead and at least giving an effort at some of these things, I think will honestly help. And then from there, you can decide whether or not it's actually going to be helpful for you going forward here. But make sure, you surround yourself with people that are giving you actual constructive criticism as opposed to, let's say, actual just mean criticism, because telling you suck is not helpful. Saying, hey, maybe work on this. It's like, work on this a little bit. This area was good, but you could be even better if you also did this. That's helpful here. So on both ends of it, if you want to help someone with constructive criticism, make sure you're giving it in a way that is actually constructive and not just criticism here. And if you are the person receiving the constructive criticism, then make sure that you're at least paying attention. Like, give it a try. Even if you know it's not perfect here, give it an effort. And that's at that point that at least the person that was talking with you on this knows that you're trying and does not feel just completely ignored. It's something that honestly will go a lot farther than you think here. as someone who I do struggle sometimes when it comes to constructive criticism. It hurts a lot of the time here, but you just got to grit through and sometimes just try out new things because you never know what might become a new staple for you going forward.
Not gonna lie, the haters won this year. Just being honest, the haters won. If you prayed on my downfall, congratulations, you won this year. Hopefully next year's different, but congratulations. I got to give you your flowers. You bet on my downfall and you won. So good job.
Fair enough. Alrighty, but that's going to do it for us here at Losses Above Replacement. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter at LAR_baseball. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube at Losses Above Replacement here. And also make sure to give a 5-star review on Spotify here. Share it around with your friends. We love getting new viewers here and getting to talk with you all. Here, make sure you go follow all of us individually on Twitter. You can go follow me at the Sports Guy 242. And you can go follow Mac at Mathias_A_K. And you can follow Splash at Mrs. Splashman19. But from all of us here at Losses Above Replacement, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. I hope to see you all real soon.